Sometime after Stalin's death, the Inconspicuous Man came to my apartment in Prague and offered me the position of commercial attache at the Czechoslovak Embassy in Belgrade, Yugoslavia. I was astonished. Our family had experienced the sufferings that accompany communism. Our property had been confiscated, our human and civil rights had been abolished, and we had all been jailed at one time or another. And now this man was offering me a new life, as he said. You have suffered a great deal under Stalin's rule, but now Stalin is dead, and your education, life experience, and family name will be recognized. Your studies in the field of economics, business law, and Serbo-Croatian can be useful in Yugoslavia. And you have relatives there, do you not? We will give you all the necessary training and opportunities to succeed. Wouldn't you prefer to live up to your potentials as a decent human being? Of course I did. I was 30 years old and had grown tired of poverty, misery, and despair of the socialist trap. From Yugoslavia I could easily escape to the West, I thought. During the meetings that followed, we discussed the preliminaries of my upcoming training. I realized then that the career he was offering me would entail subversion and spying in Yugoslavia. I thought I would take the offer, and after arriving in Belgrade, I would defect immediately thereafter. However, I requested one formality, that a contract be written enumerating my duties. The Inconspicuous Man agreed. The document, carefully worded in Marxist-Leninist double talk, was a pledge of my allegiance to the struggle for peace and justice in the world. My Christian thinking prompted me to request that one clause be included in the document, never to be ordered to kill another human being. This was the last time I saw the Inconspicuous Man. The Communist Foreign Service had no use for me. As I worked on this lecture, the words of the three individuals went through my mind. First were those of Marxist-Leninist ideologists at the Prague's Charles University, who said to me some 30 years ago, in the capitalist world, the so-called free people fear the eruption of World War III. They believe it will be atomic war. They do not know that the Third World War had been in process in every continent, every country, in every street of every town and village. And who do you think is winning this war? Who is adopting whose image? Are we communists adopting the Western multi-party political system, or are the so-called free people around the world adopting the one-party political system? Are we communists embracing the free enterprise economic system, or are so-called free people in Asia, Africa, Latin America, and elsewhere adopting state-run economic system? Are we communists acquiring faith in God and belief in eternal life, or are the so-called free people becoming more cynical about the human soul? Tell me, who is adopting whose image? who is winning the Third World War? The second and perhaps more surprising words were those of top short story writer in the USSR, a Marxist-Leninist, who was touring the United States recently and addressed the classes of Russian literature at our university. At private gathering afterward, our Russian club members were captivated by his life experience and literary work, which spanned 40 years. It covered the despotic Stalin era, the more liberated Khrushchev period, and the present repressive Brezhnev regime. The evening had almost come to end, and only several in our group remained, when the soft-spoken Soviet man said, "We have spoken only about literature. May I ask you a personal question in another field?" Of course, we responded. "Americans, when will you begin to defend yourselves? We have taken Eastern Europe, the masses of Asia, and are in Africa. Will you defend yourself when we land in New York?" Our communist quest waited for an answer from his shocked audience. We had no answer. Do you have one? The third individual, a prominent American TV personality and political commentator, had addressed an executive club audience. He had concentrated on pointing out the reasons for the impending doom converging on the United States. He believed, he said, that America had reached her acme and now is sliding slowly towards oblivion. The audience seemed to understand his thesis, and in the question-answer period that followed, they remained silent. Their acceptance of America's forthcoming doom seemed widespread. This banquet speaker and TV personality therefore was not controversial. People do not usually object to Oswald Spiegel's ideas in The Decline of the West, to the premise that historical cycles like bondage, spiritual faith, courage, liberty, abundance, selfishness, complacency, apathy, dependency, bondage repeat themselves. Therefore, when I recounted this Soviet writer's question to the banquet speaker and asked for his answer, he surprised everyone by his sudden anger and reply. "I don't believe the man ever asked this question," he said. As the angry cry, "I do not believe it," also your answer to the Marx-Leninist shame to conquer the world?